Hello students, today I thought I will teach you Unit 2 Structure of Atom from your chemistry textbook, class 11th. It's a fantastic textbook, NCERT textbook for chemistry. I want you all to buy this textbook and follow it. Now, in this particular unit, which is structure of atom belongs to physics also. You will be studying about atoms and nuclei in the second year. Now, this is just an introduction, so I thought I will begin with the introduction. Now, you should know that we now know about atom. You know that atom is made up of central nucleus with the positive protons and neutrons and electrons revolving around. All this we know now because we are in 2021, okay, and in 1898 or so, it was J.J. Thomson who discovered the 1996, if I am not wrong, he discovered the electron. Now what about the back period? See, Indians as well as Greek knew there is something called atom. They know that matter is made up of atoms, but they did not know more details. Which I am talking to you about is 400 BC, before Christ. In India there is a great mathematician and astronomer by name Kanad. He also studied about atom and atomic theory, but they did not take it forward. So what actually happened? People thought that atom is matter is made up of atoms, but atom is not divisible, right? You cannot break the atom. This is what has been taught. So many years people thought the same thing, but it was in the 1840s. You see how many years have passed. Then it was scientist Michael Faraday who came with a theory of electrolysis. Okay, what Michael Faraday did actually? Michael Faraday, a great genius actually, Michael Faraday. Yeah. What Michael Faraday did? He studied about electrolysis. Electrolysis is a process in which you take a liquid which is called electrolyte, okay, electrolyte, and you place two rods inside, and these rods are called electrodes, and connect them to a battery, positive and another to negative, right? And then what will happen? Reaction will take place. When electricity is passing through, reaction will take place, and that reaction he studied. And he also got some doubt, okay, atom is not actually indivisible, there ought to be something else. And also, atom is indivisible. This was not a fact which people could not accept. Why? Because when you take a glass rod and rub it with a silk cloth, right? You take a glass rod and rub it with silk cloth, you will find that it will become electrified. It will become electrified. This also was studied by Michael Faraday. Now, if you take, this is a glass rod I have taken, right? And when you take a ebonite rod and again rub it with woolen cloth, okay, with woolen cloth, this is ebonite. Ebonite is not available nowadays, plastic rod. When you rub this also, they found that it is getting charged. Charged means it is not just an atom, it is getting something extra to that. So for example, like this two things you bring together, they were attracting. So they said this is called electrification. And Michael Faraday said that whatever this glass rod is having, let it be positive charge, and whatever the ebonite rod or plastic rod is having, let it be negative charge. He just gave an idea, but this could not be explained, because if atom is indivisible, then these things cannot happen. Atom is neutral. Atom is neutral. Yes, in that case, how can it happen? So, the basic theory could not explain this also. See, Michael Faraday was a genius, as I said to you. This Michael Faraday did more and more experiments on it. And before we go to Michael Faraday in 1840, we will come to Sir John Dalton. Okay, John Dalton. You would have studied in chapter 1, Dalton's atomic theory. What is this John Dalton's atomic theory? John Dalton said that atom is indivisible. He said very clearly, matter is made up of atoms. Matter, solid, liquid, gases, they are made up of atoms, agreed. But the atoms are indivisible, you cannot break it. This was Dalton's atomic theory. And then he said, okay, he went one step further. He said that all atoms are identical of the particular element. They are all identical in its mass and its property, but he did not know still what the atom is. Again, he is talking something, from his imagination, but they were all well calculated imagination, right? Now, he said then what about the compounds? For example, you have water, H2O you say, right? Now, what this water is made up of? This compound is made up of hydrogen atoms, H2 plus O. Now, it is made up of hydrogen atom and oxygen, but you have to make it equal chemical balance. 2 H2O, if you put 2 H2 and you will put here 2 H2 is done, and 2O O2, okay, 2O here we can put oxygen H2 plus O2, right? Now, this is what the balancing of the equation is. O2, right? 2 is there, so O2. Or you want to write it in different way, right? Hydrogen plus oxygen gives you what? H2O. Now, you have to balance it. H2 is fine, but only one oxygen is there, here 2 is there. So, simply put a 2 in the front, then it will become O2. Now 2 H2, so bring a 2 here, so the equation is now balanced. So he said that compounds are combination of 2 or more atoms of same type or maybe different type also. It is not a problem. So this is what he said. And also he said that the chemical reaction, this is a chemical reaction, it is just a rearrangement of atoms. See, hydrogen and oxygen, they are combined, that's all. There is no new element in this. So, this is what Dalton's atomic theory is about. What he said is, matter is made up of atoms and atoms are indivisible. And all atoms of a particular element will have similar properties and similar mass and everything. So, compounds combined, different atoms combined together to form compounds with a different ratio, constant proportion and multiple proportion. Yes, it's okay, fine. Conservation of mass. Mass is conserved. Hydrogen atomic mass is 1. Oxygen atomic mass, you take for example and find out 32. Then you will find that the masses are remaining same. So it could explain these concepts, right? That is the conservation of mass, constant proportion, multiple proportion. It could explain all these things, right? Now, but it could not explain electrification. How the charge is coming? Why is it getting positive and negative? That means something is getting transferred. And what is that something? So this could not be explained by Dalton's atomic theory. So whenever a theory cannot explain, a new theory has to come, right? That is the law. That is the logic. When you cannot have a solution, does not mean there is no solution. Solution is there, and that solution was brought by other people. Others are also doing research on that, and they also try to come to a conclusion. Now, we will go back to again Michael Faraday. Then you will understand the geniusness of Michael Faraday, right? Now, what did Michael Faraday do? This is again I am talking about Michael Faraday. You will study about Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction In 10th you studied this also, the same Faraday, Michael Faraday. What he did, he took a tube, glass tube. Electrolysis he finished with liquids. Now he is coming to gases. See, this is how a creative mind thinks. A perseverant mind thinks. This is a glass tube. It has got a small narrow passage opening, and it is going to have here a small stopper, so that if I open it, I can remove the air from inside this tube. I connect a vacuum pump, right, so that the tube can become evacuated. So the tube will not have any air gas molecules. At the two ends, he connected two electrodes, and he connected to high voltage, close to 1000 volt, right? Ordinary electricity we get is 230, 220, 230, 240 volt. He connected to 1000 volts. And this one, he connected to negative, this is called cathode. And this is connected to positive, you can connect a big battery, let us say, and this is called anode. The negative is called cathode and the positive is known as anode. Terminal, electrode, any word you use it. Now what is inside? Air molecules are there. What I do? He tried. Nothing happened. Again what he did? Oh, slowly he removed. Oh, he felt something is going to happen, because pressure is decreasing. This is low pressure. We are going to go to low pressure. Pressure is going to decrease slowly, and number of atoms inside is totally reduced. Let us say this many only are there. Let us suppose, right? We have removed so many of them. Yes, and then at a very low pressure, which is 0.01 mm of mercury, barometer. I will teach you in first year, second volume, properties of matter. I will teach you about barometer. Normal pressure, right? The atmospheric pressure is 76 centimeter of mercury, we say. But here inside it is 0.01 mm of mercury. That much low pressure. At such a low pressure, he found that the whole tube, right, there is some particle is going from one end to the other end. Yes, it was going from cathode and reaching the anode. Okay, he felt that it is going, but how do you know that? Again, geniusness of Michael Faraday. What he did, he put small holes in the anode and allowed these particles to come and hit the tube. And you see this tube here, he coated, just like olden days tube light is there, right? Inside tube light there is always a coating is there, and that coating is called fluorescent. Fluorescent. Yes, there is so much of air is coming.